Happy morning, happy afternoon, happy evening, respectively on your watching time. You are watching Weekly Legal Bulletin on Law Gardener. Black marketers and hoarders must be afraid that even if God forgives them, government will not, said by the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta before the Delhi High Court. Agreeing with the Solicitor General, the court stated that such persons had to be dealt with an iron hand. If we tolerate bias of election commission, there won't be democracy. We'll move Supreme Court to lay down Lakshman Rekha for election commission, said by Mamata Banerjee. She also said 3 nominated persons of election commission cannot control the country, and she will appeal to other political parties also to jointly petition the Supreme Court in this regard after winning the elections in the West Bengal. Vehicle registered in one state in India, it not be re-registered if a vehicle is once registered in any state in India. It shall not be required to be registered elsewhere in India unless it is kept in another state for a period exceeding 12 months. The Jammu and Kashmir High Court ruled. A bench of Justices Ali Muhammad Magre and Vinod Chatterjee Kaul therefore quashed a circular issued by RTO mandating re-registration of vehicles purchased from outside Jammu and Kashmir in Zahur Ahmad Bhatt and Irshad Hussain Munshi versus Government of J&K and others. Don't want to demoralize High Court. Media should be allowed to report oral observations. The plea by the Election Commission against media reportage of oral remarks made by the Madras High Court while hearing a case. Supreme Court said, we have to make sure High Court judges and Chief Justices are independent to make views. We have to make sure the media reports everything that happens in the court. Cyril Amarchand Mangaldas, one of the top law firm, opens a new office in Gift City, Gujarat. The new office will be headed by Managing Partner Cyril Shroff and partners Paridhi Adani and Vishwanathan. Gift City is the abbreviation of Gujarat International Financial Tech City, Gandhinagar. Article 21 encompasses right of non-refoulement. In a significant judgment, the Manipur High Court on Monday has ruled that the protection under Article 21, that is, right to life and personal liberty of the Indian Constitution would also include the right of non-refoulement for asylum seekers. Hence, High Court ordered safe passage to New Delhi for 7 Myanmarese persons to enable them to avail suitable protection from UNHCR, United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. The division bench, comprising of Chief Justice Sanjay Kumar and Justice Lansungkum Jamil, was dealing with the matter concerning 7 Myanmarese citizens who entered in India illegally and sought permission to travel to New Delhi to seek protection from the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Karnataka High Court bans entry of lawyers, litigants and visitors into the court premises in 5 districts due to the rise in the COVID cases. Those districts are Bangalore Urban, Mysuru, Tumakuru, Ballari and Bangalore Rural. In cases of remand where the accused is produced physically, the physical appearance of the advocate is permitted. Disaster Management Act, Epidemic Disease Act cannot be used to regulate economic aspects of private contracts. The Supreme Court on Monday allowed unaided schools in Rajasthan to collect yearly school fees from students as fixed under Rajasthan Schools Regulation of Fee Act 2016 for the academic year 2019-20, but directed that 15% reduction should be reflected for the facilities which were unutilized due to COVID-19 pandemic. Quashed orders issued by the state government. Former Maharashtra Home Minister Anil Deshmukh moves Bombay High Court against CBI FIR. Seeking quashing of the FIR filed against him by CBI in connection with the allegation of corruption and malpractices made against him by former Mumbai Police Commissioner Parambir Singh. Supreme Court strikes down West Bengal Housing Industry Regulation Act 2017 for being in conflict with central law, that is RERA 2016. The court held state of West Bengal has encroached upon the domain of Parliament in enactment of West Bengal Housing Industry Regulation Act 2017 that overlaps with RERA. So Supreme Court struck down WHIRA as unconstitutional for being in conflict with central legislations. Overcrowding at COVID vaccination center could become a super spreader. Kerala High Court registered a suo motu case. The court said that if such uncontrolled crowding is permitted, the vaccination drive, instead of preventing the spread of COVID-19, will become a super spreader. Karnataka High Court opined that a judiciary inquiry will have to be conducted into the death of 24 patients in Chamarajanagar COVID-19 facility due to the lack of oxygen. It also questioned state on the mechanism by which it was supplying oxygen to various hospitals in Karnataka. Death of COVID patients due to oxygen shortage nothing less than a genocide, said Allahabad High Court. It ordered inquiry into it, strongly betraying the state authorities after stories of citizens begging for oxygen with authorities went viral on social media. Supreme Court strikes down Maharashtra reservation law exceeding 50% cap. The court said that there were no extraordinary circumstances to grant reservation to Maratha community over and above the ceiling limit of 50% reservation. Act of 2008 violates the principle of equality and exceeding ceiling limit of 50% clearly violates Article 14 and Article 15 of the Constitution. In the process, the court also ruled that the judgment in Indra Swamy vs Union of India need not be referred to larger bench, and the 50% ceiling on reservation laid down in Indra Swamy is a good law. Bombay High Court quashes the FIR by Mumbai Police Cyber Cell against Sunaina Holle in relation to tweet allegedly promoting religious enmity. The court said that the tweet did not name any communities and it has to be judged from the perspective of a prudent man. Chhattis High Court directs state to reconsider decisions to prioritize vaccinations for Antyodaya, that is poorest of poor who have BPL card holders, The High Court opined that prima facie, the subclassification of persons to be vaccinated on the basis of the financial status alone may not be correct or sustainable. It also directed the state to fix reasonable ratios of vaccines group based on factors such as vulnerability, chances to spread the disease, and the number of eligible persons in the group. Former Chief Justice of Jammu and Kashmir High Court, Justice Geeta Mittal, has been declared as one of the 2 recipients of the Airline Badged Global Vision Award for 2021 by International Association of Women Judges. Justice Geeta Mittal would be the first Indian judge to receive the award. Rare occasion when Article 21 is invoked in tax matters. The Delhi High Court on Wednesday opined that there is no reason why the central government should not grant exemption from imposition of IGST on the import of oxygen concentrators or generator as a gift or albeit for personal use. This is a rare occasion when Article 21 is invoked in tax. This is difficult situation. Why should state not be sensitive on it? No means no. The simple sentence has become most difficult for some men to understand. No does not mean yes. It does not mean that the girl is shy. It does not mean that the girl is asking a man to convince her. It does not mean that the girl is asking a man to convince her. It does not mean that he has to keep pursuing her. The word no does not need any further explanation or justification. The man has to stop. the Himachal Pradesh High Court held. The court therefore rejected the bail application of a 26-year-old man accused of raping a 17-year-old girl. The Kerala High Court on Thursday suggested that the state government should consider taking over of 15% of all the hospital beds for a limited time period to accommodate COVID-19 patients. Murder metaphors by Madras High Court inappropriate. Judges should be cautious when marking off the cuff remarks in the open court. Language both on bench and in judgment must comply with judicial propriety. The Supreme Court said in Chief Election Commissioner of India vs. Mr. Vijay Bhaskar. The Delhi High Court appoints Arvind Dattar as amicus curiae in challenging to IGST on import of oxygen concentrators as gift for personal use. The court also directed that the oxygen concentrator being imported by the petitioner be released by the custom authorities subject to his depositing with the court an amount equivalent to the IGST payable. It was a well-considered exercise of power. Supreme Court refuses to interfere with Karnataka High Court oxygen allocation order. The Karnataka High Court ordered the central government to allocate 1,200 metric ton oxygen per day amid the COVID-19 crisis. Central government had challenged the same order in the apex court. COVID-19 vaccination and necessity in jail. Delhi High Court directed the Tihar jail superintendent to encourage inmates over the age of 45 years to get themselves vaccinated against COVID-19 at the earliest. Punjab and Haryana Court Bar Association seeks transfer of Chief Justice Ravi Shankar Jha to some other High Court. The association has decided that it will boycott Justice Jha's court until he is transferred out of the High Court. The Bar Association alleged that the working of the High Court during the pandemic has been very problematic and the important matters like those pertaining to bail, habeas corpus and detention are not being listed. Later, the Bar Council of Punjab and Haryana stayed the resolution passed. Also said it is not the right time for any agitations. COVID-19 bed scam alleged by Member of Parliament Tejasvi Surya. A division bench of Chief Justice Abhay Srinivas Oka and Justice Arvind Kumar directed BBMP to submit a report in a sealed cover by next date of hearing. Earlier, Tejasvi Surya had alleged that officials of the BBMP and hospitals had some underground business going on where they blocked beds under fake names to make money. At a time when COVID-19 cases were rising in the state, Supreme Court orders immediate release of all prisoners who were released last year to prevent COVID-19 spread. Besides such prisoners, the high-powered committees should also consider fresh releases by adopting the SOPs and the guidelines laid down by the National Legal Service Authority at the earliest. The Delhi High Court held medical insurance and health insurance services are essential services during COVID-19 pandemic and therefore ought to be permitted to move freely between hospitals and their own offices. Fitted to report court hearings citing Supreme Court recent judgment, plea filed in Gujarat High Court seeking e-access to media. In view of the Supreme Court recent judgment in Election Commission of India vs. Mr. Vijay Bhaskar, were upholding the freedom of media to report the oral observation and discussions made by judges and the lawyers during an court proceedings, an application has been moved before the Gujarat High Court seeking e-access to media. The application states, court proceedings when reported correctly on time with the court links made available to the members of the print and electronic media for reporting the cases on a day-to-day basis. Supreme Court sets up a national task force to streamline allocation of oxygen across the country. It also stated that an effective and transparent mechanism is needed to set up within the union government for the purpose of allocating medical oxygen to all states. The task force is at liberty to formulate its modalities and procedure for working. If you think the video was informative, then do like our channel Law Gardener. Also share this channel to your friends, colleagues, and subscribe our channel for more such informative videos. And remember, vaccinations has been started. Do register for your turn on CoWIN website.